community and all of your support goes a long way. And what I'm going to give you a little bit of breakdown of what we're seeing here, okay? We're switching gears quickly because this is quite the matchup. We got Sentinels versus Rebellion, not just a rivalry, but even though the score looks like it's a 0-0, the word is that it went the full distance, including overtime, stayed at that tie. So now on the reset, it's sudden death rules apply. First capture is gonna take the win in this game 1 series. And if these two teams could not be any closer, this sudden death ruling shows exactly how neck and neck these two rosters truly are.
And a win here for the 9-seeded Sentinels could flip them into that 8-seeded Rebellion. So you could absolutely steal the seed if you're the Sentinels here. I'm going to find an upset. I wouldn't even necessarily call it an upset. These two teams feel so even, and wow, to think of either of these two teams being outside of the top 8 Magic, that's really hard for me to comprehend.
Well, I mean, they weren't as of 2 weeks ago, but Rebellion were dropped 2 spots. They were at that 7, actually ahead 1 seed over. But after their performance in the 4K, they were dropped down to where we see them at that number 9 seed. 360 points is all that separates these two rosters.
Jeez.
And only 1 capture to determine this game winner after that tie that went into overtime. Now we're back on the reset with the sudden death ruling. Who's going to get the first capture on this flag? About even from kills side to side. Both teams have gotten a flagpole, but no significant runs on the objective.
King Nick here could open up that lane for Sparty to run through with it. With the double kill, he's got it. Now all he needs is damage on Mental to prevent him from putting shots to the back of Sparty, but Sparty's already down. Huge plays here from the Rebellion, despite what looks like really strong shots and positioning from King Nick. Rain and Carmea take down King Nick. It's a Spectre, and for now, have that flag stopped.
Yeah, but Spartan might be able to get back to it. You see him rotating through long haul. Carmea trying to chase some grenades, but Spartan actually overextended in order to pick up the drop wall, which blocked that grenade. They're 3/4 of the way back, but the scoreboard is lighting up red. The team wipe at the perfect time for Rebellion, and they have a flagpole, a potential counter of their own.
Oh, and Ryanu 1 step away from jumping that flag to the green hall, but Lethal gets the clutch shot off spawn to prevent them from counter-capping after what looked like a sure score for Sentinels. Now having to play a lot of defense. 3 go down for Rebellion, and now Sentinels should be able to push off their front foot with that flag reset. Rockets up, though.
Rockets are overshield spawn. I think there's 1 rocket left for Lethal to work with. He's going to look for a target. I don't know where that overshield is. We might see it in play if you see someone lighting up with the OS. And now Lethal with a perfectly placed plasma grenade takes down the kill, clears out the top of the sniper tower. Spectre's running the flag, but there's a full sniper on the other side ready to line up the shot. He has so many players approaching, no grenades to work with. Just Spectre singled out with his BR, and it's too much for him to handle.
Oh, that's so unfortunate. I love that play there from Lethal. Such a smart heads-up play to not use the frag grenade that would have tinked around that top snipe area and maybe even fell off. Instead, uses that plasma grenade, sticks to the floor instantly, and now Lethal finding his shots on the sticks with the triple kill. Has Sentinels in position once again in OT.
Lethal takes some damage, a lot of damage from the frag. Mental's the one to come out with the kill, and here we go. Spectre at long haul again, but he's left alone. His teammates are down. Back and forth and back and forth. We didn't have the observer in the regulation, but I think that this is telling the story of how back and forth these teams are.
Yeah, it almost feels like a full reset in every sense of the word, capital full, as this one might go all the way to 000 on the clock. At this rate. You've had both. I think so. At this rate, you've had both of these two teams able to pull flags, but the defense has been too clutch. The shot into the back of Lethal. Clutch there for Carmea, looking to do more off spawn. There we go. Mental gets that flag to the green hall, but he goes down. Carmea goes down. So despite that flag being in a good spot for Rebellion, Sentinels are going to stop it again.
What did you call it earlier? A tale of two something.
Tale of two tapes.
I mean, are we seeing some more of that? But in this case, it's the 2 tapes are actually like duplicates that are close to each other.
Yeah, it's a VCR that copies over and has the same footage. That's what we're looking at here.
From the old VHS days, you know, you gotta save a backup just in case. But it was King Nick with the crucial stop right there. How quickly to regain are the side of Rebellion as Mental rotates through. He doesn't hit on that snipe shot. He needed it in order to stay alive. So that sniper changing hands, that push is stopped short as Spartan with the sniper in hand. We've seen Spartan do some deadly damage here on Imperium with use of that sniper. You add to it 2 rockets, and Spartan is the most lethal, no pun intended, player on the map.
And it was the defensive clearing for Sentinels, which opened up a little bit of offense for them here now with rockets. And it's Sparty, ironically enough, using the rocket like a sniper, now has the sniper out. And he's going to take down 2. So it wasn't the prettiest use of those power weapons, but nonetheless, Sparty does a good job to take down 2 and make sure that the rockets can't be used by Rebellion to counter. And Sentinels looking dangerous here in the base of Rebellion. Rebellion got to watch out.
Yeah, Lethal is smart. He doesn't have the numbers. He knows he needs to clean up a couple of kills first. He's the most overextended and waiting for teammates to respawn and hopefully give him some help. He jumps up to this cheeky ledge, which is fully in play. Not even really a skill jump, just an underutilized position on the map. It gives him enough cover to line up a few shots. He's stalled, but 4 go down on the side of Sentinels. Watch out, Rebellion are mounting their next push.
Just under 6 to go. New snipers are up on each side. Lethal going to grab Sentinels, and not sure who is going to grab the snipe for Rebellion. It looks like Rhino might be going back for it, which is really interesting when you consider that they have the pressure right now on this Sentinels base. It's Sentinels with their back against the wall, but they have the sniper to work with.
Lethal needing to find some shots. It looks like a player rotating through green. He's going to find the target. He's going to take him down. 2 go down on each side, and the remaining 2 players on Rebellion are both there at long haul. We got Mental, we got Ryan New making the push, but it's the counter snipe. Ryan New finds it, takes down the sniper. Can he get the double kill? He misses on those shots. He can't find the connection onto King Nick, but Mental does clean up that kill. Good patience here from Rebellion. They're kind of just stabilizing, trying to hold on to the slate advantage. Lethal is here at Needles. Ryan New doesn't hit on that snipe, and he overextends. He's taken down. Another stop from Sentinels.
Lethal playing great here in this OT reset, opening up lanes both defensively and offensively as we see him take down Karmea. That was a tricky kill there too. Karmea brought out the full dance kit for that one as Lethal takes him down once again. Has this sniper to work with, and rockets up in 10, overshield up soon as well. So the battle, the decision, which do you play for here? It looks like Sentinel's gonna play for rockets.
Every single player in double digits. Like you could talk about any player stat line right now because both of these teams, all 8 players are so even. Lethal fires off both rockets, doesn't find a kill. Ryan Noob still has shield left, even off of that blast damage. It wasn't enough. He stays alive. 2 go down for each side. A little bit of a numbers advantage here for Rebellion, but Spartan is the last living player for Sentinels.
Things almost went from bad to worse there, but it looks like things are going to stabilize a little bit as once Karmea went down, I really thought Sentinels was going to have the emphasis to push up and start to slay out, but Sparty has those 2 shots in the sniper to work with. Really making sure he can pick his spot. He has all 4 pushing down the long haul. He's going to go down quickly. It doesn't matter how good he is. He might have gotten 1 there at best, but the numbers too much there for Sparty.
Spartan taking down another flagpole. In fact, both flagpoles, both teams are in flipped bases, flipped off of their spawns, and are contesting. A little bit of a flag joust here. Who gets the score? King Nick gets a double kill, a crucial double kill. The all-around leading slayer, 17 slays, and now the heat wave at the ready. Spartan find 1. King Nick is trying to get damage onto Ryan Noob. The flank coming in from Suspector. It was enough for King Nick to soften up that kill. This flag is still on the move.
Mental with a last-ditch effort. Rain with the last-ditch shots, but no! Suspector! Or it looked like King Nick was snuck through, barely got his head below the line of the platform. I thought for sure he might have traded out while dumping that flag on the cap point, but instead it goes through. Unbelievable. And it didn't get down to 0-0 magic, but it got pretty close, showing just how close these 2 teams are. But for now, it's Sentinels with the early minimal edge in this series.
Spartan just powered that flag through for the capture. It was back and forth, reset after reset, but Sentinels find a way. This team that throughout the season we've said has been very hot, very cold. Recently they made that roster change where they dropped Collect, picked up Suspector, and at least for now, it's given them that 1-win advantage over their rival, Shopify Rebellion.
Yeah, Sentinels right now in a little bit of a transition phase where they've added Suspector. They let go of Collect, and again, that's such a hard team change to make, because I do agree with Sentinels in the sense that Collect may not have worked out from a team composition standpoint, but that is a lot of damage, a lot of slays that you're asking Suspector to come in and sort of fill in for. But hey, Suspector is a guy that could do it. Remember with G1, he was the guy popping off in a lot of those clutch slayers. 14, 15 kills, I remember, even against Native White in game 5 of pool play. So you have a player in Suspector that could actually very well match the proficiency of a Collect. Just starting to see if the rest of the Sentinels roster can put it all together.
I love LVT production. I mean, you just have to appreciate it. I was missing the overhead overlay, but now that we are in a full game, we're in game number 2, we get the beautiful overlay, those new graphics, which I really enjoy. As we head into game 2, this rivalry continues. Rebellion starting off on a strong foot. They get 3 down. They should have control of those power-ups. It's Karmea with the shock rifle. Barely misses. Had a little bit of chain damage between the 2 players at long haul.
King Nick with that camo to work with, but it's Karmea and Rebellion with the shock rifle. 3-1 lead as well, and great recognition here from Karmea and most likely Ryanoob calling his team back towards this seaside, because they know Sentinels has camo roaming through glass, probably working their way through to needles. That's why we saw Karmea and the rest of this team rotate. Great heads-up positioning. What a way to negate camo, right? You talk about taking camo down, but here's another way to take camo down without ever firing a single shot.
You just burn it for time. You just stall for time, and it's working. That camo ineffective. What remains effective is Karmea's shock rifle. No diminishing returns on that weapon if he can find the headshot. It looks like 2 players at long haul on the side of Sentinels. Karmea is watching that corner. Might have a little bit of a pinch play here between Rain, I was gonna say, but if I say his name, he's taken down. Ryanoob finds a kill. Mental finds one. Karmea trying to stay alive. It's the 1v1, but Spartan's here. Spartan's still being chased down, though. Mental left alive. Mental might be the last player alive as he wins out the fight.
Oh, Sparty tried to make the heads-up play to throw snipe off, but instead Mental gets to make the play. Oh my God, it's back and forth. Red goes down, green goes down, red goes down. Back and forth here for these 2 squads as the score somewhat reflects it. 3-kill lead here for Rebellion. And Ryanoob, you gotta know, you can't grapple from up there anymore. That's a new glitch in Halo Infinite when you grapple from...
Maybe if he was still teammates with Spartan, he would know, because Spartan tweeted about that exact glitch.
I'm actually shocked, Magic, that you bring that up, that Ryanoob nerds of all people, probably the most heady players in the league, didn't pick up on something so crucial like that. But yeah, you can no longer look down to the camo from blue and pull it up. Instead, it's just going to pull you down. That's exactly what we saw there from Ryanoob.
Unfortunate turn of events, but luckily for Rebellion, they still maintain a 3, make it 4-point lead. So maybe Ryanoob was a little bit flustered by that unsuccessful grapple of camo, but you know, as the competitor he is, he finds his footing and quickly gets right back into the fight. Ryanoob only has 1 death. I just want to shout that out. It's 4 kills, 3 assists, looking like a nice stat line and a big piece of why Rebellion have this early lead. Trying to bounce right back in this series, but it's Rain who adds on a double kill, flanks around behind, and looks the worse for wear. Still has most of his shields to speak of.
This pace of play feels so fast for each of these 2 teams. Rain looking to increase and turn things all the way up to 11. What do you see?
8-point lead. Like, it was just a 4-point game, and now it's 8.
Yeah,
it's doubled in about 15 seconds.
And look at this, Rebellion. It's not like the shock rifle's not even up yet. Now they've grabbed it. So for Rebellion to open up this 9-kill lead without the likes of Shocker and Camo, now they have it in their hands. Gonna be curious to see if they can continue to build on that lead. Maybe even make it a 3-team wipe game. As yeah, you're right, Magic. This one out of nowhere has busted wide open.
It was an early lead from Rebellion, but it's all about like the stages, right? Like the tiers, right? You get the early 2-point lead, you extend it to 4, but then all of a sudden it went from 4 to 8. That feels like a significant shift. We're almost at the halfway point of this game. Rebellion 22 to 14, Camo 7 seconds away. Karmea now with the shock rifle. Karmea is double positive currently, 6 and 3, and he might find the crossfire onto Spartan. Doesn't connect on the shot he wants, so he falls back, anticipating that push, because I think it's the Spectre who's at the top of glass, the top of attic. Karmea trying to stay alive, trying to maintain control. That shock rifle is gonna dip right out of there when his shots weren't able to connect.
Karmea, all he has to do is stay alive and anchor that top A elevator control with that shock rifle, and that's going to be a win condition for his team, up continuously by that 8-kill margin. But Carmea, the win condition goes down. This is an opening. This is an opportunity here for Sentinels with camo and shock on the ground to come back.
Come back right here at the halfway point. King Nick trying to stay alive. Mental and King Nick both weak, but Mental jumping around behind. King Nick deals out damage to Carmea. Carmea finds the kill. Carmea is trying to sneak away, but it's Spartan and I'm sorry, I can't see who the other name is. Here at the back of C, and the collapse is in. They're taken down. 3-4 down for Sentinels. Rebellion extend their lead to 9.
Yeah, the spacing, almost like an inefficient hockey team. The spacing just a little too tight there for Lethal and Spartan. Almost allowed that Rebellion squad to take him down in a 2-for-1, one fell swoop, 0.0 TTK effort. So optimal efficiency for the likes of Rebellion. You might expect to hear the word efficiency and objectives, but you can absolutely play efficient Halo and Slayer as well. And that's exactly what we're seeing here from Rebellion.
Efficient Repulsor sends 2 players back. Mental looked like it was a GG's, it was a game over, but the Repulsor play worked, at least for now. It was more of a stall. As Suspector scoops up the kill, scoops up that Repulsor. A 9-point game, now cut to 8. Okay, they're within 2 squad wipes. Sentinels still have time to get right back in the fight, but they need to make some smart plays and not sacrifice lives unnecessarily.
Still an 8-kill lead for Rebellion, which is really impressive considering how mixy it's felt.
Yeah.
4 seconds till camo. This is going to be huge here for the likes of Sentinels to come back. You need that efficient 4 kills from a camo to bring it to within a 1-team wipe game.
Ryan Noob is kind of rotating solo. The other 3 players from Rebellion are here on the C side, but it's Ryan Noob there at Attic. Kind of singled out, kind of solo, hoping to get some shots across the map as Mental finds a nice grenade kill onto 1, but it's King Nick who's going to find Ryan Noob, take him down, prevent any crossfire. Mental, meanwhile, just heating up, still holding at 8. Rebellion happy to trade out kill for kill, and Mental goes for the trade, ends up with a nice takedown onto Spartan.
Oh, Lethal going down. That's 3 down. King Nick is going to have such a hard time, but he does a great job taking down Ryan Noob.
Yeah.
And this is miraculous because it doesn't necessarily feel like the players are directly trading out, right? We're both melee each other, but trade outs nonetheless in the kill feed. Every time Sentinel's able to get 2, Rebellion get 2 right back. So it's not necessarily that the players themselves are trading out, but the scoreboard is.
Oh, Carmea, a 1v1 versus Suspector, and all of a sudden, where we saw Rebellion in that early game when they extended the lead to 8 out of nowhere, now it's Sentinels getting right back within 4, seemingly out of nowhere. A big win there from Suspector to take the shock rifle control and to not get traded out on the kill. Now providing some cover even for a teammate Spartan who's trying to rotate around to regen the shield. Suspector has a player approaching to his right. He has Ryan Noob down below, nearly finds the perfect shot, but Carmea might be next up on the menu. Here comes the Spectre cleaning up the kill with the help of Spartan, who's credited with that takedown.
And in some ways, this is right where Sentinels wants Rebellion, with the sharpshooter Suspector having this shock rifle in his hands, and he needs to push up to help Lethal. A little delayed on the push. Because of it, Lethal goes down. Those are numbers of challenges that'll help, but oh my god, the turn 180 double kill has Sentinels down only 1.
What a game of comebacks. The lead was, I think, at 1.10 was the most that I saw from Rebellion, and now that lead is dwindled all the way down to just on 0. A 0. Wow. It's a tie game with that kill from King Nick. He equalizes at 37-37 across the board for both teams. The next round of slays could be the tipping point, could shift the momentum as Lethal takes back the lead for Sentinels.
Now this is interesting. Sentinels has the lead 38-37, but there's still plenty of time and plenty of score left in this one. However, Sentinels is on the camo side of the map with that shock rifle at 0 in the back pocket of Suspector. If he goes down, that's going to give Carmea, who you can see already positioned for that shock rifle. So for Suspector, it's not about getting kills here. It's just about staying alive.
Survivability is so crucial as Suspector goes in for the back, but instead he finds a death instead. 1 point lead now, shifted back over to Rebellion. 3 minutes left on the clock.
Uh-oh, 2:07 is when that shock rifle comes up, and it looks like Rebellion has the early positioning for it. Sentinels pushing up on this glass control because they know they need this side of the map to not only win shock rifle, but likely this game as well. 41 tie. Sparty goes down on the camo side. 2-kill lead now for Rebellion. Lethal gonna have to make a huge play as the last member alive on the glass side. Can he trade out with Ryadoob? No, Ryadoob gets it cleanly and extends the lead to 2.
A 2-point lead now for Rebellion. They're fighting so hard to tie up the series. Game 1 went to double overtime, and this game is looking like more of the same. Rebellion now 3, make it a 4-point lead, a full team wipe. Karmea regens shield, but isn't enough to take down Lethal. Disengaging, survivability being so crucial as Rebellion find their way to the home stretch. They had the 10-point lead stolen. They regained on a 5-point advantage, and now just need one more kill. Is it Ryan Noob? Is it the IGL with the shock rifle, with the grapple? Good little final slowdown here to look for that pick, to not panic, but play to that advantage. All 4 players from Sentinels are trapped back at elevator, but the last thing Rebellion want is to send players one at a time. King Nick goes for the camo, and Rain finds the kill. That camo was bait, and King Nick fell for it.
Wow, unbelievable. Very methodical pace for Rebellion in the early and middle goings of that match, but a ferocious push down on the pedal, looking like a NASCAR street team. Skirt, skirt, as Rebellion absolutely pump on the gas. And in Magic, in a game that was tied going into the 40s, Rebellion win by 7, showing how strong they were in that end game.
Incredible game back and forth. The 10-point lead from Rebellion was stolen by Sentinels, but somehow Rebellion find their second wind. They had a pit stop in the middle of the game, but they were able to refuel, get back to full speed for the final stretch. And you know what that gives us? Not just the tied series, not just the guarantee of a game 4, but a full-fledged rivalry between the former teammates, now Nemesis. And
Can we slow-mo that?
Was, oh my gosh, that one took my breath away.
And that is just pure awareness there from Suspector. He is shooting that shot not based off of the visuals he has in his eyeballs, but the information he has through his ears, through communication, and his game sense through his brain. That was all headiness, right? It was the headiness that led to the headshot. There was no aiming involved here, because watch, he didn't even have time to aim. He just has to go. He's on needles. Boom. Lines it up. Barely even has time to line it up there. And that was all comms. I'm not sure who is that next to Suspector. That would have been the key comm there. That would have been the credit assist. Who's that player there? It goes so fast I can't even see.
I think it's Sparty. It is. It's Sparty.
Credit, yeah, Sparty with the assist there. And it's not even the shots into the suit that give him the assist. It's the intel and the communication there that allows Suspector to instantly turn on Karmea and make it a 1-kill game. But again, crazy to think that we went into the 40s with such a feverish comeback from the likes of Sentinels. He got tied into the 40s and then a 50-43 finish, which is a lot more of the same from what we saw all throughout for Shopify Rebellion. So that was a really interesting sequence there.
Incredible. Why use your eyes when you can use your ears, right? That's what I'm learning. You know, listening skills are so important, and hearing that comm to be able to adjust. You got a little bit of a live look. I think this is Common's POV as Common gets the double kill, a 4-point lead here.
And this is a G1 roster that looks...
This is game 5. This is the game 5 Slayer Arcarius.
This is it. This is a G1 roster that looks so improved. That 3rd place finish with all of the top teams playing last week. Now maybe taking a little bit of a step back as Proton has them with their back against the wall. A 6-kill lead for the likes of Proton is just like we saw from Rebellion. They can just trade out and they'll have themselves a 50-43 win.
All right, everybody, Proton versus G1 in a game 5. We have that Proton, the common POV, so we know that their team is the score on the left. They have that 8-point advantage and 6 points away from taking this highly contested series. Going in for the fight, a little bit of thruster maneuver. Common wins out and 3 more kills. Breaking Shot finds a double, nearly doubling up on their lead.
And for Proton Gaming, just like Complexity last week, on the outside looking in that 11th seed. They need this win. They need this massive upset over G1 in game 5 if they're to have a chance to be invited to DreamHack Dallas.
Something about those 11 seeds, man. You gotta watch out for them. Squally finds a kill, and now it's Proton looking for one last takedown. And they get that upset onto G1 in a decisive fashion all the way down to the wire of game 5.
Yeah, and that's so concerning for G1 because they lack the ice This roster did, at least in year 2. Lacked the ice that we saw from them in year 1. You add suppressed, you see the ice. You saw some clutch closeout game 4s, game 5s there. We saw a little bit more of that previous 2023 V1 roster with the likes of Suspector on it, but now you have Suspector popping off here for Sentinels.
And it's wild because it was just minutes ago we were watching Collect popping off on Livefire, right? Who was the former Sentinels teammate, and now who do we have added to that roster? It's Suspector with a triple kill. And it's just been the story of those roster changes and the new players really showing up with something to prove. Here comes Ryan Noob, an established player, an experienced player, hopefully using that experience to get the edge, but it's the mental edge as Mental secures the double kill. And now this hill is tied for time.
Tied for time, tied in this series. The 8-9 seed in the HCS. This one could not be any closer as we start to see Rebellion separate here with a little bit of scoring on their own. Mental doing a great job here, anchoring the back B side, and his presence alone is going to push Sentinels through mid. They're not even going to challenge on that A side. That's all because of the positioning here from the Gears of War pro. Now looking like a Halo pro instead. Fighting it almost in a 1v4 situation. He's going to need some help though.
Oh, and here comes the push. He turns his back to the wrong second, but what does he do? He makes the most out of it, setting up some early damage, enough to get an assist. Only a few seconds left for Rebellion to win over the hill, but here comes Sentinels. They're contesting. Carmea tries to step foot on. He needs to survive for about 3 seconds. It's enough time to get the hill capture right before Sentinels can make the push. But look at the setup. Sentinels have hill number 2 locked down.
That is exactly what you need there. Sentinels played that perfectly. The previous series, we saw Tusk try to desperate in for a hill that had no chance of flipping into Complexity's favor. The same here for Sentinels. They realized that. They didn't send 2-3 to helplessly push for a B hill that wasn't even going to be there after all. They instead rotate the snipe tower, have the early positioning, but despite all that, this is unbelievable. Sentinels had all 4 stacked up on the snipe tower, looking like one of those mobile games where you have a tower defense set up and it's level 100. You just spend $100. Instead, though, Sentinels lose hill control, lose overshield control, lose numbers control, and go 3 down. How?
If Rebellion come out with this win, you have to pin it on that moment that Sentinels let the game slip through their fingers. They get distracted by overshield and they get lured out of that objective positioning. I don't know what the answer is. But they're going to pay for it here in the end as Rain finds the takedown onto Spartan. Now using the repulsor jump to get top mid, but there's 2 players from Sentinels rushing through top mid. Ryan Noob is on the run. He's not going to escape. Sentinels need to rally quickly. But look at how much time Rebellion already have on hill number 2.
Hey, but it's not about how you start, it's how you finish. And now Sentinels, King Nick has that sniper at the snipe tower. That's the alliteration. That's the parallel of snipers that you need to have if you're Sentinels to come back on this hill and tie it at 1.
Tie up this game at 1 apiece. So many times we've seen early games on King of the Hill Livefire in particular, where the early game decides the outcome. Rebellion are looking to set the pace with the early game. If they can get the 2-0, they have a little bit of numbers advantage, but Spartan matches it. Now Carmea last alive. What numbers advantage they had was absolutely stripped away as all 4 for Rebellion go down. Sentinels now could lock down this objective. Rebellion will have 1 more chance to break their hold.
Oh, this is tricky because you want overshield or you want the hill. It looks like Sentinels doesn't have enough time to where Rebellion is going to be allowed to play for both. Yes, here we go. Mental with that trout screen. No, he doesn't get the overshield. Instead, it's Sparty stealing the overshield and likely this hill as well.
Get back just in time. He had help from King Nick to clear off the hill. Spartan with the overshield, with the heat wave, is holding on to the objective. Needs about 5 more seconds of time, and just like that, Sentinels tie up this game after a clutch overshield win from Spartan.
Sparty, can you do something for me? Wow, unbelievable play there on the overshield side, then rotating into the hill to tie it at 1. Great play there from the likes of Sparty, as he's sitting at 4 and 5. Again, just goes to show you can be negative in a game but still have a positive impact on your team.
All about having a positive impact. Sometimes it's the smallest plays that can make the biggest difference. Pile them together, especially when there's just the thinnest thread of difference between these two teams who have been at each other's throat throughout season 2. Back and forth has this rivalry been between Sentinels Rebellion. They've been trading off seating position. Who's going to take the advantage might most likely be determined by this series right here, right now. Suspector trying to stay alive using the shroud screen for cover, but is it enough? It is. He finds the back of Rain instead, and off of 1 HP, he finds a double kill and is back at full strength.
Wow, and it's been, if this is to score for Sentinels, this will be 2 back-to-back miracle steals as Rebellion, as far as the eye test, has looked like the better team in this one, but it doesn't matter what it looks like. The end result is what we live with, and Rebellion on the verge of having a comeback hill here. Sentinels seem to have a full A control setup.
Have the full setup, but Rebellion only need to break through 1 time. They only need about 7 seconds of time, but Sentinels are quickly creeping up on that time of their own, and they're right there. Here comes the push. Suspector's taken down, though. He doesn't get the trade on kills. Ryan Noob at the top of sandbags, but Lethal deals the damage to force him away, but it's Rebellion who are on the objective. It's Carmeo with the overshield. They're stealing the hill right back to take the lead 2-1.
Wow, yeah, this one feels like it, right? One team steals one thing and the other has to counter with another steal, as we see that from Rebellion. Double kill headshot, quick scope from Carmeo, the likes of which we might have seen in Halo 3. I don't even know if he was born when Halo 3 released, though.
Carmeo, we talked for a long time about Collect, the Cycle, the young up-and-coming gunners, but Carmeo absolutely has to be part of that conversation. The incredible double snipe kill, and he's looking for more. He knows where those respawns are coming in. Here comes the push through cuts. Can he line up another no-scope? He has damage out onto Spartan, but he's gonna flee with his life. Look at this hill, though. Look at how much time Rebellion are already at the 90% mark.
Wow, momentum rolling for the likes of Carmeo and Rebellion as they it's seemingly seconds after they score that second hill. They're going to score a third, and this is going to start to steal the hopes. This is going to start to steal the willpower for Sentinels, as you might see them starting to get a little checked out.
Watch out, Spartan, because Carmeo might have the sniper, but he also has a repulsor, so if you rush too aggressively, he might just send you off the side of the map. The 360, the mind the gap. Carmeo is going off in this game.
Yeah, and it was the 360 medal that looked flashy, flashed up on your screen, but it was the strong side 360 that I almost wish we had that medal instead of the 360 strong side. That was what we saw there from Carmeo as Lethal looks to continue dominating. Oh, but he missed clambers, goes down because of it.
I'm sure the strong siding sound effect could be added to the soundboard, you know? Like, that could happen. It might have to happen.
Strong side.
Flip it. That's it right there. Suspector is clearing a path for the next overshield pickup, but it's not going to be uncontested. Rebellion go 3 down. Sentinels with a little bit of a numbers advantage, but Mental is being a pesky annoyance. In fact, he sneaks away with the overshield. And what does he do? He runs straight into the respawning Sentinels.
And that was all he was trying to do there. It wasn't likely for him to grab overshield, so that was a win itself. And he just kind of went down and said, well, I wasn't supposed to get this anyway, so why don't I, how about I die quickly
it's all
afterwards?
Gravy after that.
It's all, exactly, it's all gravy, right? It's almost like an even split. And for Rebellion, you will take that all day as you've built a, not necessarily comfortable or convincing, but a strong 3-1 lead, up 2 with 2 to go.
2 minutes exactly on the clock. Sentinels do have about a third of this hill captured, and they're going to need it. Time might be their worst enemy, although 2 hills down, they have to play a good balance of objective control and also eyeing that clock at the same time. Ryan Noob has the heat wave, has the plasma grenades, has a shroud screen even. Trying to clear off the hill, goes for the contest at first, but he doesn't connect on that heat wave round. Instead, Spartan stays alive, but it's Mental and Rain collapsing. Numbers advantage for Rebellion, and this is where they decide, do they play for this capture, they play for time? It looks like they are prioritizing the hill.
Yeah,
until now they clear off. They're absolutely playing for the clock.
Yeah, knowing this hill, you got your mosh pit hill top mid, knowing this hill takes so long to secure, they're going to force Sentinels to get these last final seconds, and it could be minutes that come off the clock before they get these last final seconds. So the strategy on full display here for Rebellion. Does it play off?
Cool. I'll tell you what pays off. It's mental repulsor heat wave combo. And look at that. They run onto the hill to contest it in order to stop point scoring from Sentinels. And then the second they clear it, they hop right back off. Already, they've burned 30 plus seconds on this hill. It was just at 2 minutes, now a minute 30. But as he's dropped, Sentinels might have control of the overshield. That could be enough to secure this hill, get them within one.
Hey, yo, and that's impressive for Sentinels. That's 2 instances where the Shroud Screen is there for Rebellion, seemingly a get out of jail for free card, or I should say a get an OS for free card. And that's two out of the 2 last scenarios where Sentinels, despite not having the positioning, despite not having the Shroud Screen, they have the overshield instead and a chance to tie this at 3.
We've seen a lot of impressive overshield plays where an overshield win leads to that hill control. Sometimes it's a this or that scenario, but this time it's porque no los dos. Just take both. Just take the overshield, take the objective, and have them both. Lethal gets good work out of that overshield. Sentinels have already early time on the objective, and Lethal just playing his position, right? He knows that his team does not have the numbers, and so he plays that position until he decides to rush in, and unfortunately, it's the team fire from Rebellion that's his undoing.
Rain looking to anchor that nest, but he's got a lot of pressure, and he's walking into even more. Shroud Screen now on the side of Sentinels, and they make good use out of it, taking down Rain. Sparty now with that heat wave and an extra Shroud Screen to work with. This hill, so crucial. Sentinels needing it to tie this game up. Only 40 seconds left, but they have the numbers. They have the positioning. They have Sparty with heat wave. They have 3 down for Rebellion. This is a chance to get some chunk gains.
Okay, I was worried when Spartan stepped off the hill, but that's because there's another teammate holding down the objective. Spartan, because he has the heat wave, because he has that repulsor, is looking for the respawners. Also watching out for that overshield spawn in. It's only seconds away right now for Sentinels to secure the hill. Spartan gets a crucial kill. 2 players though. It's Ryan Noob, it's Carmea, it's Mental as well. All are rushing and then trading out a kill. Sentinels still have numbers.
No way! Sentinels tie it at 3, just as we saw 2 strong hills for Rebellion. Sentinels answer back with arguably even more impressive display of ice in their veins as they have this one tied up. We're looking to go to sudden death.
Okay, but here's the thing, Mikowski. Remember game number 2? Rebellion had the 10-point lead. Sentinels tie it back up, and then in the home stretch, they fell apart.
Yeah.
Rebellion are looking to repeat that process. Carmea is the most powerful player on the map. The kingpin of the roster. Sniper, overshield, and teammates securing the objective. Rebellion haven't been playing for objective time until now.
Yeah, it looked like Carmea was trying to set up for that elbow angle, but instead sees it's not there, repositions and gets the snipe on King Nick instead. No scope body shot on Sparty, but Sparty sends him off the map with overshield. That was absolutely huge. Just as it looked like Carmea was ready to go on a killing spree and secure this game for Rebellion, Sparty has second thoughts.
Spartan repulses a player out of the hill. We're gonna see some extra time here, some sudden death time. 2 more minutes added to the clock. Rebellion have the hill about halfway captured, and Rain's double kill might add more time to the clock, but there's no time to breathe. Look at the push here. It's the Spectre at the bottom of tunnels and Lethal. So Spectre doubles back, waiting for the respawn. Sentinels have time for 1 or maybe 2 more pushes as they regroup. They find the opening pick onto Mental, and that means it's time to go. No time for breaks. It's got to be all gas from Sentinels to get back on this hill. Rain playing his life so carefully, but it's King Nick with a kill, and it's Lethal with a kill, and now Rain is weak and alone trying to use this pillar for coverage, but Sentinels get the team wipe. 4 down for Rebellion.
Oh my god, and just as it looked like Rebellion had the last hold they needed on that hill to win the game, Sentinels clutch up, and you wouldn't expect anything less from the likes of Sparty. He's going to play all the way to the finish, and now you have to worry about not only who's in the hill, but who's setting up for that overshield magic.
And that's what Sentinels have been prioritizing. Time and time again, they play for OS instead of objective time, and this time it might come back to bite them. King Nick and Lethal. Lethal is the last alive, but Rebellion winning out those slays have the 4th position. Lethal absolutely needs to stay alive, wait for the respawns, and he does. He stalls for enough time. Sentinels get that respawn onto Nest, but they lost the overshield once again in the hands and the armor of Carmea. Final seconds, the finishing touches on this kill, the last desperate approach coming through, and if this kill goes through, so goes down Sentinels as Rebellion once again find the way to clutch up in the final moment.
Oh, and that's devastating there for Sentinels. After that miraculous team wipe, I had in my head maybe a 50% on the board for them in that hill. They weren't even able to acquire about, look like 24%. Instead, it's Rebellion icing up, just like we saw previously, where Sentinels comes back with a vengeance. They tie it up right deep into the game, and then Rebellion has the ice. Rebellion has the answer, and I got to point that out because it's usually Sentinels and the likes of Sparty, the likes of Lethal, the teams he's been on, they've usually got the ice. Now it's Shopify Rebellion with the likes of Carmea and Precision, some newer up-and-coming players showing that they got the ice as well.
2 wins in the series for Rebellion, and 2 times that the game has been tied up in the late game by Sentinels, only to watch the match slip through their fingers. It's not over yet as we head into game number 4, but was there a turning point, and why do I already think you're going to say hill number 2?
It's really hard. Like, this whole game felt like a turning point, right? Like, especially when you had Rebellion go up 3-1, turning point, and then 3-3 ties, Sentinels, turning point. So every time a team felt like they had the quote-unquote turning point momentum that you gain with that, the other team flipped it right back, especially as it related to these overshields, where it looked like one team was about to grab it, and then the other team would miraculously find a way to not only not burn out that overshield, but make sure they went down before and transferred into possession of your team instead. So I think there was turning points abound in that one, Magic.
Turning points everywhere. If you're gonna go back to the Toy Story meme right there, but I still am gonna go back to hill number 2, because remember Sentinels, they were highly contesting on hill number 1, but once they lost it, they had the full setup at hill number 2. They didn't win any objective time early on because they overextended for overshield, and this is what I'm seeing, that there was almost an I'm seeing this incredible double snipe that like it took my breath away. That second one was so perfect.
And watch, go if you rewind that real quick. I'd love for you guys to see where it's too late. Okay, no worries, but I'll talk about it anyways. Colette or Carmea. I get confused now. All these young up and coming players. God, I love the Halo scene right now. But going back to Carmea, that kid's centering is so cracked. That's why he was able to take that shot instantaneously around the corner. He almost shot before he even saw a pixel of his opponent because of the perfect centering, all on display from Carmea.
You know what was missing for me in this game, which is hard to say after an action-packed, high excitement match? I was missing the counters to Overshield. Overshield looked some of the strongest that we have like ever seen, but where were the counters to it? You didn't see the team fire to melt it down. You didn't see the plasma pistol. In fact, what you saw is both teams really expending all resources just to win that power up, and like the lone survivor would scoop it up and have free reign.
Well, it's funny because the counter to Overshield occurred before Overshield was in the suit of one of these two teams. So it was almost like preemptive counter. As right there, I saw Carmea going off the map. There's so many moments.
That's a good counter to Overshield.
There was so many. Yeah, there's a counter. There's a hell of a counter. So just so many moments where it looks like Sentinels is gonna get some points on the board here. I think in moments later they had a team wipe and barely put up any seconds. So needing the objective efficiency here, do or die. Game 4, Oddball Streets.
We know that Sentinels are strong on streets. We know that Sparta's got a rampage on the streets. So watch out. This could just be Sentinels' map to force a game 5. But it's the first round of Rockets, and Rain is also tossing the Oddball. They want a little bit of everything. They got the full team wipe. 4 down for Sentinels. Rebellion wastes no time getting to that objective. What we saw maybe as the Achilles heel for Sentinels in the last game of kind of waiting too long to get on the hill. We're seeing the opposite from Rebellion, where they wasted 0 seconds.
Speaking of not wasting any time, what a heads up play there from Mental. You saw Rain grab that Oddball, rotate it to Mental down at spikes, but Mental didn't pick it up right away because he was no shields. He knew that if he grabbed that Oddball, had that HUD indicator showing where he was on the map, he would have gone down shortly after, jumping up into C. Instead, it's a 30-second milk session for Rebellion off the back of the smart play from Mental.
Lethal in a 1v1, and Mental with another heads up smart play. Rebellion have their setup they wanted. If they came into this game with plan A, B, and C, it's all plan A for them. Everything they're doing is working until now. 3 go down. That's the break Sentinels need. And now Mental's last alive. He can't even play the ball out. He can't reset it. He has to deal with Suspector, Bulldog rounding the corner, Mental with the cheeky corner position, but it's the team fire going to take him down. And this time we see Sentinels with the prioritization to pick up that objective quickly.
And Mental goes down, but it's a smart play from him. He goes down, but he elongated his life long enough to allow this Rebellion squad to put a lot of pressure on Sentinels off spawn. However, Sentinels is answering it incredibly well, as despite the push here from Rebellion, despite some of the damage they're getting, they haven't been able to break this setup. So if Sentinels can continue to hold, they might be looking at a lead instead.
Is that a friendly rocket that just took him down? I think that was a rockets from Spartan and so getting the kill. A little bit of friendly fire, but you know, no harm, no foul right there. Sentinels are trying to reestablish their positioning, but even off of the rockets from Spartan, even off those slays, look who ends up with the oddball in their hands. It's Rebellion now inching up on that halfway point as they indeed cross the halfway point. Rain found the remaining rocket, puts it to work, takes down Lethal, and watch this. Rebellion are trying to rotate the ball here to B, but if Rain goes down, they have nowhere to rotate. Sentinels found the kills.
3 down for Rebellion, and that's going to open up the scoring once again for them. And now with King Nick pushing up on these two players at B, that's going to force a split spawn. You're going to have players spawn, maybe even Cafe, as it looks like Rain back A. He gets that back A spawn, but what does spawn B instead? Important to note when you look at the overall positioning of these teams and where the spawns might occur, especially on a map like Streets. You get that spawn up. Lethal earlier forced the spawn up on Red Room. That was a great play. But if you're able to manipulate spawns here on Streets and get those spawn ups for your teammates and spawn outs for the opposition, that's an absolute massive point of strategy that both of these two teams are going to be focusing on here.
Focusing their strategy and hopefully focusing their fire as well. Spartan lost his teammate, so without any team fire, he finds a weakened kill and cleans up on the rest of that fight. In fact, turns it into a double kill, but now it's Rain versus Spartan and an isolated 1v1. Ryan knew might get into the fight, but not before Spartan can take down the triple kill, preserving his life, not playing for that overkill. The spawns are coming in for Rebellion favorably. They're still set up on that A side.
And Sparty now with a chance to stagger after that triple kill. As Carmea go down to a team shot, it had to have been. Ryan Noob goes down, but a massive trade. If not for that trade, you're looking at a 1v1. Instead, Mental has the map open, free to himself. He's able to walk around like a post-apocalyptic landscape where you're taking whatever resources you want.
Looking like I Am Legend right there is the only player alive left in the world. Mental, he rotates the oddball, scoops up the rockets. The player pushing from being a player through bottom mid. He chooses one with that rocket, and now the Shroud Screen firing through it, trying to keep Spartan suppressed, and all he's doing is stalling for time. He doesn't come out with a kill. He doesn't expect to come out with a kill, but 80 plus seconds here for Rebellion. Wasn't enough time for Rain to rotate the oddball. He tosses it out. He uses that stalker rifle, dealing out damage. Now it's King Nick caught in the corner, and Rain is staying alive. Look at the reinforcements are here.
Yeah, smart play there from Rain to not chase in and potentially lose that stalker rifle. Instead, he plays for the assist. Lets his team. Why don't you guys potentially trade out and make sure these guys go down? I've got the stalker. I need to make sure I take control of this. As he's now got control of the oddball as well. Needing just 12, 13 seconds or so. Rebellion are at match point.
Match point for Rebellion, 10 seconds left. That's just one round of slays, and here comes Suspector, a desperate solo push, and it stopped short. Not before he could draw blood. Rain and Carmea are down. Sentinels are firing out across the map to try to stop the oddball holder, and for right now, it's semi-working. Ryan Noob grabs the oddball. I don't know if Lethal can get there in time for the stop as round one is secured. Rebellion, once again, with the objective efficiency, and I'm looking at the slays. It looks fairly even, maybe a little bit of a lead there from Rebellion, but ultimately it's how they control the defensive side.
And it's surprising too, because I think Rebellion are out slaying Sentinels, but it looks like Sentinels has the edge in assist by about one or so. However, it's just a little too top heavy for the likes of Sparty McFly. 17 and 7 almost kind of points to how discombobulated the Sentinels roster is, because their stats are all out of whack. It's not even about being -6 or whatever, -3. It's just that one player has 3, one player has 17, one player has 7 deaths, another player has 12. Like, this Sentinels roster, just by glancing at the stats, tells me that they're all out of sorts.
Yeah, and you don't know how much of that might be due to like Lethal's having like connection issues like with the game. Like that could be a factor of it. I like the fact that Lethal is the objective leader, right? Especially if you're having trouble with ping or something like that, to focus on what you can control, which is holding on to control the oddball. We'll see if that works for Sentinels in round number 2. They are not letting an early 30-0 lead go by. In fact, they have the objective. They have a defensive setup.
All right, and 30 seconds of milk early for Rebellion that last round. Now it's Sentinels taking the lead and looking to put a little milk session in for themselves as they need that 30-second threshold. They need that 30-second check mark or checkpoint to really feel like they can come back against Rebellion.
A little bit of a lead here for Sentinels, but Rain pushes through, finds the kill, scoops up the Bulldog. Sentinels might try to rotate the ball. Suspector throws it a little bit, but doesn't quite clear that ledge. Instead, it's Rain gonna try to find the finish on that kill. He receives a little bit too much grenade damage, so he's gonna duck into this corner, wait for a regen. Rebellion and the Oddball have been very focused on this subway side hold. It worked for them in round 1. Do they get to come back here in round 2? They have to deal with King Nick, and Carmea finds the melee for the kill.
Oh, and they got right on the edge of a good milk run, and instead, Dad's not coming home. And if he does, it's with spoiled milk. His Sentinels and Rebellion are now tied. Just as it looked like Sentinels has the edge, it's Rebellion who, with less to work with, have just as much outcome. So, important to note, important point in this match. Now with Sentinels regaining some of that control at sea, to run it here, to extend it. They need to get it to a 50-25 lead. They're just not getting enough in these milk runs, honestly.
They need a little bit more. They need a little bit more milk. You know, that's what they say. And the 50-point mark hit first by Sentinels this time around. King Nick with the Sentinel. There's the team fire you're looking for on the side of the Sentinels. They're starting to pick up the pace. They're starting to hold on to that Oddball, prioritize the objective a little bit further. A trade of kills comes through, and King Nick, again, didn't waste any time, right? We see Sentinels shifting their attention. They are quickly getting control.
Yeah, and now with 2 down for Sentinels, you're going to see King Nick start to play for a play ball as he does just that. Needs to try to hold on to that Stalker rifle and delays Rebellion taking it back over with that stick on Ryanoob. So Sentinels, in a moment where they need it most, down 2-1 in this series. They lose this game. They go down to the lower bracket instead. They're mounting quite a comeback, and they're looking much stronger in this round 2. But just as I say that, Rebellion sneak away with it. Look at this rotation away from Suspector, but the split spawns over at PD almost forced Rebellion to push into their initial, which is incredible.
Yeah, those spawns working for Sentinels, and the pinch is in play. Suspector might have been the only player on the chase, and he scared Rebellion right out of the frying pan and into the fire. In this scenario, Sentinels come out with the kills and the Oddball. So Suspector, who was the player trapping, the player pinching, he now grabs the Oddball, he tosses it back to a teammate, he tries to break through the boom block, the drop wall, but Carmea is staying alive for the time being. 29 seconds rather, for Sentinels to take this into a round 3 and potentially into a game 5 if they can mount this comeback. But Mental has the Bulldog around the corner. Lethal uses that last shroud screen, kind of gives them a little bit of a trying to shake them off. Rebellion seem unfazed.
And a battle of bait and switch versus bait and switch, 2v2. It's Rebellion and Rain getting the better of Sparty and Sentinels as they win that encounter, win the Oddball back, and are now down just 30.
That lead is starting to slip away, but Spartan finds a double kill. Rain, as the last alive, tosses the Oddball and tries to escape with his life, trying to get his teammates to spawn over here at the red room, but I don't know if it was enough impact to help with that spawns. King Nick finds the kill. Now let's see what happens, Sentinels. Do you get to that Oddball quickly? It looks like the answer is yes. They get to that objective. They are still even out for Slays, and Spartan has one more rocket. That could be all they need to secure this round of Oddball.
Yeah, and Sparty here, I'm curious to see how aggressive he plays with rockets, because you could really bait out one of these entrances, especially the spiker side where the ball is. So this is what he's going to do. He's going to bait out that spiker entrance, take down one, but he damages the other. So that's a numbers advantage, despite not getting the slate directly from the rockets that you're going to take if you're Sparty, as Sentinels now needing only 7 seconds to tie this game up.
Oh, great restraint there from Spartan. Waits for the information, waits for the pickup of the Stalker rifle, and now the double, make it a triple. Spartan, 31 Slays Streets is his map.
Sparty has an aura emitting from his soul right now. He's on fire, heating up. Absolutely incredible. I thought this double was nuts, but then the quick flick onto Carmea for the triple kill, looking like he's got the S7 in his hand, but no, that's the Stalker rifle. Sparty popping off.
Spartan on streets is just unstoppable right now, but it's not only slays that Sentinels are gonna need to force a game 5. Can they get back-to-back rounds like they just did? It all starts with that opening break, which so far won again by Sentinels, but this time something we haven't seen throughout the game. The Oddball actually rotating to the C side instead of to Subway.
And it's Sparty rotating it with the most slays. He's getting some Oddball time too. Oh man, you love to see that. If you're just a fan of Halo, no much less a Sentinels fan, you just love to see that. But if you're a Rebellion fan, you're gonna love to see that as 3 go down. Rebellion with a chance to mount a comeback in this particular round. 14 seconds on the board early for Sentinels, but Rebellion looking to put on much more than that.
And Rain softens up the kill with the use of that Bulldog. Now Mental is rotating over to Planners, hopefully trying to clear out on that B side. Watch out, Spartans in the back of PD. And you have to think that right now, Rebellion are calling out Spartans specifically, right? You have call outs for power weapons. Watch out, Bulldogs here, Stalkers here. But now Spartan has to have earned his own call out from Rebellion that they are trying to single him out.
Yeah, going into a series, you're going to have that with the best player. Like, for example, Lucid is going to get called out more often when you play up against Optic Gaming. But when Lucid starts popping off with the heat wave, you're getting those like triple tap pings in the feed, right? You're getting more for like, he's one shot. Like the team is just the desperation to make sure you take that player down is in full effect for the likes of Rebellion, making sure they really focus on Sparty here.
I don't know about Bukowski's impressions though. I don't think I've ever heard a pro player talking like that, but who knows? There's definitely a level of desperation and intensity once you see the kill feed and you realize that one player is the problem. Hopefully Rebellion can find the answer to this problem. Lethal is at the back of B, waiting for some help, waiting for some shield, and now the team fire goes down. Ryan Noob finds 2 kills with the rockets though, and now Lethal might find himself in trouble. Tosses a grenade and he's looking to rotate possibly back to where Spartan is there at Subway once again.
Oh, love that heads up play there from Lethal, recognizing 3 red on his screen in front of him at C, rotates that Oddball that direction, but Rebellion get a good spawn, so they're going to put pressure on it. They're not going to allow Lethal to get all the way into C, but now with the numbers advantage, Lethal knowing his role, finds that Oddball, continues scoring, and is now doubled up on this Rebellion roster.
Timing. Lethal had the perfect timing. Tosses the ball out, waits for a couple of kills, and then once the opening was presented, he full sends it, grabs that Oddball, and Sentinels now with that 23-point lead. Watch out though, Ryan Noob and the rest of Rebellion are not giving this up without a fight. They are back in the action. They are back in the fight. Ryan Noob looking for the player at the bottom. He finds the kill. So Spectre and Lethal each pick a kill of their own, and the time that Ryan Noob spent hunting down that slay, Sentinels respawn and they get right back where they left off.
Yeah, and this is another one for all the Plat 3s in chat that thinks they're Onyx 1900s. Lethal is having an absolutely incredible game. I've seen so many, Lethal's trash, he's -10, -9. Do you guys not see what he's doing on this map? Do you guys not see the impact he has moving around the map, rotating the Oddball when they need it most, anchoring this key defensive positioning when they need it most, cross-shotting the likes of Karmea, now knowing when to push up and push forward? Like, Lethal is not having a bad game, y'all. In fact, he's going to take this piv against Ryan Noob, take him down, 4 down for Rebellion, and look at that. What do you know? More ball time for Lethal as he looks to ascend into the 100s of objective ball time. Great game from Lethal.
Lethal nearly the triple-digit objective time, having an incredible game, making the plays when the team needs it. And now Rebellion, they need to find a player that can start making those plays when they need it. Is it going to be Karmea, this young gunner? We've seen him playing absolutely huge, especially in that game 3. Rain once again had the Rockets control, gets a takedown. Karmea getting the call out for the Bulldog pickup, finds it, and then wow, the fadeaway shots with the BR to clean up that kill. Rebellion are finally winning over some much needed time, but as 2 go down, they're not going to get much more.
Ooh, Sparty, this is an interesting position to anchor, but with that angle on the Oddball and the back of Ryan Noob, I kind of freaking love it. Sparty takes down his former teammate, now deeply rooted, hated rival, and he pushes up down the left side of the map. Sentinels looking so strong here in rounds 2 and 3. Will it be enough to send us to a game 5?
Take that, nerd, he said as he hits the back smack. Spartan crouching in a sneaky corner. I mean, that's part of why Spartan on streets is so deadly, so dangerous. He's always making those cheeky plays. He is taken down. Numbers advantage here for Rebellion. This is their chance to break through. Lethal is on the run. Lethal is scrambling. He's weak. He's singled out. Ryan Noob cleans up one kill. Suspector is in the fight, and Ryan Noob finds the double kill with the use of that Sentinel beam. Rebellion now 50 seconds down, but with a little bit of control.
Important to note, 159 in regulation as well. So Sentinels not only has a comfortable lead, a 2-to-1 lead, disparity in that lead, but the clock is a teammate for them as well, if you will. The clock is in their favor. If they can even just get a play ball out to the palm trees, it's going to be a great play for them, a win condition for them, because it's going to continue to dwindle down that clock though. But with numbers advantage, Lethal is going to instinctively go for more ball time here. Oh, edging out. He's going to get to 94 seconds before a push comes on, but he takes down Carmeo with the help of Sparty. Sparty picks up the remains of that oddball, and Sentinels, look, no! Sparty goes down, and Lethal rotates out, so Rain is going to have the option to grab this oddball. It's a goal line stand, a fumble for Sentinels.
Rebellion forces the fumble. I think there might be one rocket left for Mental. He got a kill with one. I'm not sure if he spent both. It looks like both are spent, so instead he has the Bulldog in hand. But Rebellion had to play perfect Halo for 40 seconds of oddball control. The clock's not on their side. The score's not on their side.
Oh, no.
Carmea finds 2 kills. Sentinels go 2 down. Rebellion are just 27 seconds away from stealing over this round like they stole back games 2 and 3.
Oh no, and there may be some nervousness in the tummies, right? That butterfly feeling in your stomach if you're Sentinels. You got to play through that though. You got to have the mental fortitude to shoot through it, as we see that from Suspector back against the wall. But numbers advantage, 2 down for them, needing just 2 seconds, and they're gonna... Oh, I was about to say, please, Sentinels. I was wrapping it up. I was starting to talk about how they clutched up in Game 4. We're going to a Game 5, and I had to stop because Rebellion stopped the clock at 98 seconds. Wasn't enough to come back and secure that game and the series. Because of that, we're heading to a Game 5. Spartan versus Ryanu. Sentinels versus Shopify Rebellion. You love to see it.
I'm going to spell it out for you, Mikowski. D-R-A-M-A. We got some drama in Halo today with this series. Every game seemingly going down to the wire, and there's only one way to get the epic finale on this matchup, and that is going to be that Game 5. We're headed to Slayer to see which of these teams most likely rises above the other in seeding points and in back and forth matchups. These teams, Sentinels, Rebellion, have been going back and forth at each other throughout this season, and today is no different.
Yeah, and I was just so impressed with the ice this game from Sentinels, as we saw the individual slay there, or individual triple slay there from Sparty. But I got to go back to the ice for Sentinels, Magic, because let's be honest, this is a Sentinels roster that, at least with Collect, was not very icy. If anything, they were like one of the most unclutched teams in the league. How many just like heartbreaking matches have we casted Sentinels where they're up in a Slayer, up in an objective, and they end up not winning or outright losing the series because of it? Now they're clutching up. Now they're icing up. Now they have a chance. They're alive here in Game 5 as we hop on board with Lethal.
That's been the story of the series, Mikowski. It's been the story of icing up, the story of clutching up, and both teams have the capability. It just depends on which player, which team is going to bring it here today. In each match, it has been a back and forth deciding that answer. Rain gets a kill, but he's traded right back out 3-3. Just like this series, this game is already deadlocked.
Ayanu has 2 players pushing up. That would have been a good trade for him in a disadvantageous position there in a 1v2. Would have liked to have traded out. Would have been a win condition for him, especially this early in the game. Instead, Ryan Noob goes down. Sentinels builds on that lead, however narrow. 5-4, now 5-5.
Heat wave in the hands of Mental, and he catches some frag grenade damage. It's enough to knock down all of his shield. Slows him down, regens, falling back, and he's just taking some like peek shots here. He's got the information at the top of P2, but he might not know. There's a player also approaching car 3. I believe it's Lethal on the left-hand side here. And Mental is just full sending to the right side. He might not catch the sneaky rotation. Sentinels, look at these 2 teams. They're completely swapping sides of the map as they both rotate. How counterclockwise.
And this is something famous that Ryan Noob is famous for. And previously with Sparty on that E-United team, that E-United, that old school E-United roster, they would rotate the living hell out of each team. They would go from one point of the map and rotate all the way to the opposite end. That's exactly what we saw there from Ryan Noob. And maybe what happened between both teams, because Sparty took a little bit of that from teaming with Ryan Noob, I'm not sure, but that was absolutely unorthodox and a rare occurrence where both teams over-rotate each other.
A little bit of a merry-go-round in the middle of this, maybe a NASCAR race. Both teams are doing some laps around the map. A 2-point lead now for Rebellion. Carmea trying to stay alive, but he's gonna end up at a 1v2. He cleans up one kill, trying to make the most of it. Doesn't connect on that melee, so not expecting that kill to trade out. This Ryan Noob going for the active camo, but it's being stolen away. It's Lethal who has it. Ryan Noob's on the chase, and even though Ryan Noob didn't win the camo, he immediately negates it and ultimately extends their lead.
Yeah, that's huge, especially up 3. Taking down camo and making sure that they don't get to go on a run, equally as huge as the lead you have here for Rebellion as they feel comfortable in the early goings. But as we've seen throughout this series, Magic, you cannot take it easy. You could be up 15 kills in this match, and I still feel like the lead wouldn't be safe.
Yeah, we saw it in game number 2, the Slayer that was on recharge. Rebellion had a mid-game 10-point lead. Sentinels came right back. In the end, Rebellion were able to clutch up, but that 10-point lead was quickly dissipated. So there's no room for comfort until you see the victory screen for either of these teams. Ryan Noob using that commando at mid-range. The melee trades out the kills, but 2 go down for each side. It's Lethal versus Rain, and there's a little bit of help there. None other than Spartan to clean up the rest of that takedown. Lethal, though, he re-engages a half second too soon. His shield was not fully regen.
Oh, and it was a great position there for Sentinels. The wheels get a little wobbly with Lethal going down, but Sparty rights the ship with the Magnum perfect shots. 12-15. Rebellion still with that 3-kill lead. King Nick pushing up into 3 players, and he might just take them all down. Unbelievable play there from King Nick, finding himself with that +1 outcome because of that great play.
It was King Nick in game number 1 that really clutched up that first win for Sentinels. He would get double kill after double kill. He would stop flag run after flag run in order to get Sentinels the game 1 victory. And he's doing some more of the same here at the opposite side of the series on the game 5. He's at top mid right now. Camo is spawning in. King Nick might be the player to make a break for it. Has some help from Lethal, though. Look at the push here. Rebellion once again split 2 and 2. 2 are there at the blue fridge side, and then on the opposite side approaching to the top of car, but it's the 1 kill down for each side. Nobody's been able to go and get that camo yet. It might be in play as Lethal gets the melee before he is taken down. Camo is still sitting at top mid.
And it was a 2-2 split there for Sentinels. 2 on Carbine, 2 on P side, and King Nick is going to continue to keep them alive on the P side. Lethal flips from the P spawn over to car side, so interesting 2-2 split there for Sentinels, but they do a great job pinching their opponents and building the lead.
I have a question, but I want to wait for this fight first. Is Carside call that because of a carbine spawn?
Well, it's a previous midship call out. So all of the call outs on Aquarius are from midship, and yeah, that's right. Midship had carbine spawn car too, so that's why you got that call out.
I knew it was car, but I never knew it was short for carbine. So I'm like learning things a year and a half into Halo Infinite. So King Nick here gets the kill. Sentinels now with a 3-point lead as they hit that halfway point. Primarily, it's been King Nick. He has nearly half the kills for his team. He might add more to that with the placement of these dynamo grenades. The assists are going to count for just as much. He is singled out in the end, but look at that. A full team wipe of difference, and it's Sentinels for the first time in the driver's seat.
Yeah, and this is sort of their play style, right? You have Lethal, who's, again, quote-unquote negative, but look at him frying. Look at him making an impact with those assists. A part of 9 of these 30 kills, so he's involved in a third of the action. And for Lethal, all you need to do to play your part is 25%. So Lethal, despite having a quote-unquote bad game at -5, is really playing above his threshold of 25%. He's having a great game here, and a big reason why Sentinels going to just trade through and win this game 5 up 7.
They should have control of the camo. It's still sitting there at top mid, but they have the map positioning. And Lethal, did he see the player that jumped right around behind him? He's receiving some fire, and now he re-engages, but it's a 1v2 situation. 7-point lead now for the Sentinels. Make it 6. Rain is going to go for that camo. In fact, Rebellion are prioritizing the camo more than usual because they're down. They need something to go in their favor.
All right, Magic, we have seen this before. Sentinels with a comfortable, nearly 2-possession lead into the late game. Is this a new Sentinels roster? It is, in the sense that you have Suspector, but I don't care about the players. Is this a new Sentinels roster in the results? Can they ice up? Can they clutch up and hold on to this lead? We're gonna find out.
Well, speaking of that new roster, it was Suspector who was in the corner at P2, who got the shots onto Camo, revealed it, hunted down the kill. So maybe it is Suspector being the new roster for Sentinels, the 11-point lead. They can clutch up right here. They can turn a new leaf, if you will. Lethal is back on the hunt. He has a mental weakened, but Ryan Noob is there to cover. Lethal can't overextend. He can't push his fight. He's waiting for the trap, and the trap is in. You find Ryan Noob first. Mental is still biding his time, trying to stay alive, but he is being closed on as Lethal instead goes to Carmea. This is starting to roll snowball down the hill. Sentinels, 13 points lead and only 7 away from stealing the series.
And this is a great game that we're seeing from Lethal. And people probably in the chat think I'm like some Lethal stan over here with a foam finger that says Lethal on it. But no, I didn't even, I thought Lethal was highly overrated in that top 25 list. I thought he was nowhere near the top 2, maybe 5. Even that kind of, I don't know, man. I'm not a Lethal stan. I just call it like I see it. And Lethal right now having a great game, making a huge impact with 8 kills and 8 assists.
And only the 8 deaths as well. You gotta shout that out. He's really doing everything, and now he gets another kill, a perfect kill at that. 9 kills to his name, 2 kills left for Sentinels, and they find them both. Sentinels, they storm the castle.
Wow.
They steal back game number 5.
That is unbelievable. Almost a steak-tacular there. Sentinels absolutely pop off in that game 5, and it was just full domination, really. You never really saw any camo control, never really saw any of those rotations, those big brain rotations work out for the likes of Shopify Rebellion, as Sentinels has an answer around every single corner with the dominant 50-32 win in game 5.
The 8 versus 9 seed, that seeding is going to stay true. Sentinels are not going to lose out this series to the underdog, slight underdog, Rebellion. What a back and forth series. Game 4 was actually the most decisive of all of them, 50-32 at the end. And you know what? It comes down to me to that game number 4 where Rebellion had the 1-0 oddball lead, and all of a sudden Spartan hit another level and they won back-to-back oddball rounds. They carried that momentum through to game 5 to take the series.